mid-20s and I'm rich. And before you click off, I know that that is a super obnoxious thing to say, but it's true. When people think about richness and wealth, they instantly think about money. But what about your health, your relationships, your career, peace of mind? As someone who is a little bit of an overachiever, I became a doctor at the age of 22, I became a property investor in my early 20s, and I had 100k invested at the age of 25. I spent the first half of my 20s being super intentional in building wealth in every single area of my life because I really wanted to be the dream woman that my younger self dreamed of. And in today's video, I'm going to touch on how I was able to do this. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. I want you to grab your pen, I want you to grab a paper, I want you to get comfortable. Health. As a doctor, I have seen time and time again that it's so easy for young people to say that because I'm young, I'm not going to focus on my health or prioritize my health because that can never be me. But in reality, illnesses and diseases don't discriminate between ages. In the world where there's so much content, it can be super overwhelming knowing what things to do and what things not to do. And one thing that has helped me is understanding my body. And that has been through the process of reading research papers, trialing and erroring and seeing how my body responds to things, and also having a list of non-negotiables when it comes to my health. So I won't negotiate on sleep. Making sure that I get my hours in is a non-negotiable for me. The second thing is being super mindful of what I eat and knowing what foods work best for you and knowing what things energize you and make you feel brighter during the day is crucial. And the last non-negotiable is exercise. I find that working 3 times a week does wonders for my mood. It helps me to manage stress, especially with the 10,000 hats that I wear as an investor, doctor, and content creator. Let's talk about money. I'll be so honest with you guys, I started investing early because I learned about a concept called compound. The earlier you start investing, the more compounding works for you, and that's where the magic of investing happens. I saved aggressively as a junior doctor. I literally kept my lifestyle to the minimal, and then I tracked all of my expenses to make sure that I was saving at least 50% of my salary. And I did that for a number of years, which put me in a really good financial position savings-wise that allowed me to invest. I have realized that personal finance is something that a lot of females don't know anything about, but also a lot of young people know nothing about because it isn't a topic that is taught in school. I don't know about you guys, I was taught Pythagoras' theorem, but no one told me about credit cards or how to invest or what an ISA is. So in terms of practical tips, step 1, educate yourself. There are so many different platforms out there that you can use to educate yourself. You've got books, YouTube, channels such as this channel, podcasts, and you've got investment platforms like Propel, which foster education as well as encouraging females to invest. The second thing that you want to do is understand what your investing goal is and then work backwards. If you're looking to retire really quickly, then your investing strategy might be more aggressive than someone who has twice the length of time that you have available. The third thing you want to do is make sure that you are tracking your expenses. You want to make sure that you understand how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and you want to have a pot allocated to a fund which you can use to invest. Social wealth is crucial because the people that you have around you influence you a lot more than you realize. And actually, there's a scripture in the Bible which says that bad company corrupts good morals. And the reason why I was really intentional about the people who I had around me was because from a very early age, I knew that I had big goals and I knew that not everyone would understand my goals, and that's okay. My personal conviction is my conviction, not someone else's, and therefore there's no obligation for them to understand something that I believe is my purpose and I believe I've been called to do. However, on the days where you're doubting yourself or you're not sure if things are going to pan out, you need people around you who will speak life into you, who will encourage you, who will force you to be bold on the days where you feel like being shy and playing it safe and being timid. One of the things that I would highly recommend doing, if you haven't done so already, is doing a relationship audit. And I tend to do one at the end of the year where I'm thinking about how the year has gone, and I think about all of my relationships. I think about, have they been edifying or have they been draining? Are we headed towards the same place or are we not going towards the same place anymore? Is it a symbiotic relationship? So career wealth. In my mid-20s, I've been fortunate enough to have what many people call a portfolio career. So I'm a doctor, I'm a content creator, and I'm a property investor. One of the reasons why I've been able to get here so young is because I always say yes. Someone said to me years ago that it's important that you put yourself in new environments, and it's so true. Putting yourself in a new environment exposes you to new things, it exposes you to new people, it exposes you to new ways of thinking, it exposes you to new networks. By exposing myself to new opportunities and by saying yes, even if I was super uncomfortable, it helped me learn at a faster rate the things that I like, the things that I'm interested in, and it gave me a bit more clarity on what I want to spend my time doing. Emotional wealth. For me, emotional wealth is inner peace. It's loving yourself despite your insecurities. It's having boundaries that you are willing to exercise and being bold enough to be able to walk away from people or from things that impede on your personal boundaries. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still very much on my journey of building my own emotional wealth, but I'm a lot further than I would at the start of my journey. And when I speak to people about building your inner peace, it's intentionally dating yourself. We talk about relationships with other people romantically and platonically, but sometimes we ignore us. And I've spent a lot of my early 20s trying to figure out who I am, what makes me tick, what things make me upset, why do they make me upset, but also what things make me happy and why do they make me happy. I have learned to practice gratitude because in a world that is so noisy and so busy, you can feel like you're not making progress when actually you're doing a great job, and sometimes you need to give yourself a pat on the back before someone else gives you a pat on the back. And I think something that has been so beneficial for me on my journey is changing how I think. I created a mood board of what she would do, what she would look like, what her day-to-day would look like, and then I thought backwards. I thought of the habits that the dream version of myself would need to do on a daily basis that would need to compound over time to allow me to become that person. And rather than being fixated on the big picture, I focused on the little habits that would get me there. Things like practicing affirmations, things like having a routine and sticking to that routine, and routine in every area of my life. So from my eating to my exercising to my investing to seeking opportunities, all of these have compounded so far and will continue to compound to allow me to be the person that my younger self has dreamed of. And even from a boundary standpoint, thinking about the kind of things that my dream self would tolerate and wouldn't tolerate, and putting boundaries in place now and sticking to those boundaries. And that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video on how I was able to build wealth and become rich in my 20s. Let me know what you think about the practical points that I've mentioned in each of those areas, and if there's anything that you think I've missed out. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.